Are you ready for another sew-along? How about a vinyl and canvas tote bag? Little cell phone pouch, fully lined. This is a really fun project. Hi, I'm Angela Wolf. To get started on this tote bag, let's talk about the supplies that we need to gather. You'll need 1 yard of fabric for the outside of the bag. It needs to be heavy-duty canvas, or this is an outdoor fabric that you could make for cushions or something like that. It's a little stiff and it's durable. 1 yard of a lighter weight fabric if you're going to put lining in the bag. This is just a real lightweight cotton. A half a yard of faux leather or vinyl. This has a little print on it. I thought this would look pretty cool at the bottom. 2 yards of a ribbon or something to use for the handles. Of course, if you want your handles longer or shorter, you might not need 2 yards, but that's a good start. A number 14 denim jean needle. A pair of scissors or a rotary cutter's best for vinyl, but scissors work as well. A sewing gauge or measuring tape, and hopefully your machine comes with a plastic foot because it will glide right over the faux leather when we sew. The bag can really be any size that you want, but I'm going to start with a little larger tote bag that I can carry my magazines in. So I'm going to go 20 inches wide by 36 inches long. So I have the fabric folded in half, and I'm going to trim off the seam allowance and then cut 20 inches over. And then I'm going to cut the same dimensions for the lining if you're going to use lining. The faux leather, we need to cut a couple of things. First of all, at the top of the bag, once we attach the bag and the lining, I'm going to use a fold of the faux leather to fold over the top of the bag, and that will just be the finish. So I'm going to cut a strip about 1 inch wide, so that way when it's folded it's about a ½ inch on each side. And then we're going to cut a strip that will go at the bottom of the bag. So if you can imagine, once the bag has its bottom finish, you need to decide how far up you want that faux leather to go. This is more of a trim, kind of a cool look, and so I will measure that and give you my measurements, but feel free to design your own. So the faux leather is cut the width of the bag, and then if I fold that in half, because it's going to basically attach to the bottom of the bag. It'll make the bottom look really nice, and then this is the trim that will go at the very top. The straps, I mentioned that I have 2 yards, so I'm just going to take these, cut this in half so I have 1 yard for each side. And you have to imagine that this is going, and this is how the straps will end up, just like this. If I have the handles go about 5 inches from the edge of the fabric, I could cut a pocket to go in here, and so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut it this wide, and about from here I'll add a seam allowance and then tuck into this bag. The fabric that I've cut for the pocket that will be hidden inside underneath these straps is 11 inches wide and 8 inches long. Just another idea, and then if you want to do a monogram, I would do the monogram here, and you could do it on the actual fabric or do it on the faux leather. The first step is to decide if you're going to add a monogram within that little pocket. I've shown in a previous blog post, which you can click on, how to add a monogram onto canvas fabric. You could also monogram on faux leather and give yourself an applique. I'm just going to leave this plain, and so I'm going to cut a strip of lining that's the same measurements as this, so the inside looks good. And I'm going to take 1 strip of the faux leather, fold it over the top edge, and get started. In the next lesson, we're going to sew the cell phone pouch. Again, I'm Angela Wolf. For more sewing tips and tutorials, be sure to visit brothersews.com and angelawolf.com. Until next time, happy sewing!
you.